With over 30 locations serving specialty food and beverages throughout the park from today, August 29th through November 23rd, this may just be the most anticipated festival Epcot has seen in a while. We are here in Epcot for opening day of the International Food and Wine Festival, and this is your ultimate foodie guide. Guys, I don't think you're prepared for just how much I'm going to be showing you today. I'm upping the game, I have my list, and I plan to get over 35 different foods and drinks to sample. Now that is the goal, but can I do it? There's only one way to find out. Let's head to stop number 1. We have made it over here to Flavors from Fire, and the smell of the grill has kind of filled the air. It smells amazing. This had to be my first stop because my favorite festival food of all time is back for the first time since 2019. This is the Steakhouse Blended Burger. It's a beef and wild mushroom slider with truffle brie cheese fondue, arugula, and a truffle potato chip on a sesame seed bun. It has been 5 years, way too long. Oh my God, I can't wait. It is just as good as I remembered. The mushroom in with that beef just creates this like incredible umami flavor. And then of course you've got that creamy brie cheese fondue. It just pairs perfectly with the flavor of the mushroom. You've got a little crunch from the potato chip. This is, we're starting off so hot. I don't know if anything is gonna beat this. This is probably going to be the best bite of the whole festival. I don't see how anything could top this. It is once again probably going to be one of my favorite festival foods. It lives up to the hype from 5 years ago, and I am so happy it is back. Guys, I'm just speechless after that burger, and seriously, I love that burger so much that me and my family have actually made it at home because my whole family really enjoys it. I found a copycat recipe online after they didn't bring it back in 5 years, and I have like actually made it at home. That's how much I really enjoy it. And if you don't like mushrooms, I would still say try it out. Like, don't worry about the mushrooms. I don't think you can specifically taste like the mushroom on itself. It just kind of enhances the flavor of the beef. But definitely go get that Steakhouse Blended Burger. We are off to a fantastic start. Next up, we are knocking out Coastal Eats, where we got the roasted warm water lobster tail with garlic butter. And I love how much garlic butter is on this lobster. They poured some on top, and then just in case that wasn't enough, they also gave you a little cup full of garlic butter. And I am here with Allie and Dom. They already tried a bite of the lobster tail. What did you guys think?
I think it's a pass. Yeah, it wasn't very good. It was very chewy. The aftertaste was just...
I couldn't taste any of the lobster in the lobster. So
Dom made a good point. If they're going to give you all that garlic butter to drown out the flavor, there's a reason.
There's a reason, yeah. So I would skip it. But we'll see what you think, Kristen.
Well, before we try out this lobster, everyone make sure you guys go follow Allie and Dom's Wild Ride. Go subscribe on YouTube and put the link to their channel down below. But now for this lobster here, and this is definitely very buttery. I'm worried I'm going to get some grease on my shirt. I definitely agree with the no lobster flavor. Yeah, I almost taste no lobster whatsoever. The garlic butter kind of just overpowers it. So it doesn't taste like bad because obviously garlic butter is good, but it doesn't taste like a good lobster tail necessarily either. So I gotta agree with you guys, I'd probably skip it as well. All right, next up we have made our way over to the Communicore Hall area where they have a place called Festival Favorites. They kind of changed up the menu. When they opened this, they had arepas and stuff, but now they have a couple of different things for the Food and Wine Festival, so we're gonna check this out. We ended up getting every single thing from the Festival Favorites booth, and we are gonna start by trying the Irish milkshake. This is a Guinness stout with Bailey's original Irish cream liqueur and vanilla ice cream. Now for years here at the Food and Wine Festival, they actually had an Ireland booth, which was home to this Guinness shake here, and I know this is a fan favorite. They got rid of the Ireland booth this year, but don't worry, the shake is still here. You can find it at Festival Favorites. Let's see if it's just as good as years past. Oh yeah, that is so boozy. Usually with like frozen drinks and stuff, you can't really taste the alcohol. Here, you can surely taste the alcohol, which is perfect. It's just like a creamy shake with alcohol in it. Amazing. And yes, it tastes the same as before. We've got to get to all this frozen stuff first. So next we are going to have the frozen s'mores. This is a chocolate milkshake with marshmallow syrup, topped with mini marshmallows and a graham cracker. I'm hoping this has more s'mores flavor than just the marshmallows and the graham cracker on top. I do taste a little bit of that marshmallow syrup, but overall, it's just giving chocolate shake. I like when a s'mores shake has like graham crackers kind of crushed up actually in the shake. So you get like a sip with graham cracker every time. This isn't necessarily giving that, but if you're in the mood for a chocolate shake, I guess this will do the trick. Since we are on desserts, we might as well continue and try the key lime tart from Festival Favorites as well. And I got a spoon, but let's just do this the messy way. The key lime on the inside is nice and tart. The meringue on top is a great touch. Only thing I don't like too much is the crust. I feel like with the crust of this dessert, it kind of reminds me of those like tiny desserts that they have at Disney buffets, and the little like outer shell there, it's just not good. It's not what I want when I have a key lime pie. If key lime pie, I want something like, I don't know, graham crackery or buttery and flaky, and this is just very dense and almost flavorless. So not a big fan of the crust here. On to our savory dish here. This is the kielbasa and potato pierogies with caramelized onions and sour cream. Now I will say these pierogies look like they are straight out of the freezer aisle. They look like Mrs. T's for sure, but we'll try them out. Oh, Mrs. T's for sure. They taste just like a frozen pierogi, which hey, sometimes those hit, you know, but what really makes this dish stand out is this kielbasa. It has a really nice char on the outside, and it kind of like caramelizes on the outside there. Nice touch of the caramelized onions. I probably wouldn't get this again just because the pierogies are from the freezer aisle, but the kielbasa itself is good. Okay, next up, we must head into Communicore Hall, which is supposed to be the festival center and is supposed to be all dolled up for the festival. Communicore Hall, that was supposed to be this glorious festival center that all you guys remained very positive about, kind of flipping around when there's a festival. I have to laugh. This is a glorified merchandise location where you could get the exact same merchandise that you could get at every other store. And to make it even worse, they took out the only good part of Communicore, which were the tables and stuff, in the air conditioning to replace it with this merchandise that you could just buy everywhere else. And there's no one buying it in here. It is the first day of the festival and no one is buying this merchandise. So I can only imagine how empty it's going to be on this merchandise side when it's not even the first day of the festival. Well, Communicore Hall certainly isn't impressing me, but let's hope the Macatizers food booth that is in Communicore Hall does. The line is crazy for some mac and cheese. There are so many people lined up for it, and I hope that's because it's good. We're gonna see. They have a couple of different options. They have a traditional mac and cheese, a truffle mac and cheese, a cheesesteak mac and cheese, and an impossible chili mac and cheese. We got two of them to try, and we are going to start by trying this cheesesteak one. I will say, the mac itself does look a little bit dry, but we'll see how it tastes. I definitely could use a bit more creaminess from this mac and cheese, but I will say, the peppers, the steak, and the onion on there add a really nice flavor. I think this might have been maybe like the bottom of the barrel for the mac and cheese because of how dry it is, but I imagine if you get this when it's hot, fresh, and creamy, this would be really good, but it's still good, even though it's a little bit dry. Next up, we have the Impossible Chili Mac and Cheese with sour cream and cheddar. This is a plant-based offering. Let's go for this one. This is so good, and somehow this has no dairy in it, and it's creamier than the cheesesteak one. You got that chili on there. I really love that hint of sour cream. It just adds that almost like sour cream flavor. Tons of green onions, tons of Fritos for a little bit of a crunch. I think this one is better than the cheesesteak one. I had this years ago when they had the mac and cheese booth, and I loved it, so I wanted to make sure I got it again. This is a winner. I tend to like Disney's vegan chili a bit more than their regular chili. I just enjoy the taste a lot more, and it goes perfectly on top of that mac and cheese. I did have plans to get the truffle mac and cheese, but I had heard that it's just the traditional mac and cheese with a couple of shaved truffles on top, so I figured I'd probably skip that one. It just looked a little bit basic, and I'm happy with the two that I got. Here we are at Bramblewood Bites. This is kind of on the walkway between the World Showcase and Figment. You can find this booth as well as a couple of others. And they have a couple of different things, a brand new menu, a brand new booth. This is the first time this booth is going to be at the Food and Wine Festival, and we got it all to try. And guys, I must admit, none of this food looks to be that great. I hope it tastes a bit better than it looks. We're going to start by trying these cast iron roasted Brussels sprouts and root vegetables with dried cranberries, candied pecans, and a maple bourbon glaze. I will say, for $5, I don't hate this portion. Allie has already reviewed this, and I'm not thinking it's going to be great after hearing what she had to say.
people.
It's the worst thing I've eaten today. Straight vinegar, you are right, Allie. All I taste is apple cider vinegar. And those Brussels aren't like, they're soggy. Like they're sitting in, there's way too much liquid in that bowl. Would not recommend. Next up, we are trying the grilled cider brined pork tenderloin with fennel apple slaw and apple cider gastrique. I do like the bit of char on the outside, but overall this plating is like very lackluster here. Okay. I agree. The flavor of the pork is really good. It's a tiny bit dry, but I do like that, what is it, apple cider gastrique?
Yep.
It does add a nice flavor to that. I do wish they gave you way more of that slaw so that you could kind of eat it together and it was more of like a side rather than a garnish. I think that needs to be a side and not a garnish, so you could eat it all together. But it definitely tastes a little bit better than it looks. Next up on our list is the Forest and Field booth, where once again, we are ordering the entire menu. We are going to start by trying this autumn chili with bison, lamb, pork belly, root veggies, jalapeno cornbread, smoked cheddar, and creme fraiche. And let me just tell you guys, this looks so oily, and like I actually don't want to eat this. It looks so gross.
Not to do an oil change in a car.
Literally. And you could kind of just see the oil is just like, the cornbread has just like soaked up that oil. I'm gonna try and like not pull from the outside because that's where all the oil is sitting. I am not a fan of this at all. It kind of has like those African warm spices. I taste almost like a little bit of cinnamon in here, and it just doesn't go with those huge chunks of meat. And in general, I just think it is way too warm outside to be eating a huge bowl of oily chili. I cannot imagine myself ever ordering this again, and if I were you guys, I would probably save my money on this one too. I am really hoping these pumpkin mascarpone ravioli with sage, brown butter, pecorino cheese, and hazelnut pralines are better. Let's grab ourselves a little rav here. Yeah, not a big fan of the pumpkin inside of this ravioli here. I will say this praline crunch on top is nice. I would think that would be really good on top of like a regular like ravioli coated in brown butter and sage. But with the pumpkin one, it's almost like a little bit too sweet for me. The pasta though is cooked very well. It's cooked nice and al dente. Just not sure how I'm feeling about the filling. Lastly, from the Forest and Field, we have the burrata with seasonal fall fruit, spiced pecans, apple puree, and fig vinaigrette. All right, let's get some of this burrata with all of the other accoutrements. It's almost like a little bit of an applesauce underneath. I don't know if I like the applesauce. I feel like everything else works together really well. The balsamic with the pear, the pomegranate, and the crunchy nuts. But I just don't know how I feel about the applesauce with it. I would have personally preferred some type of like fruit puree or like sauce underneath instead of just straight up applesauce. Well, I appreciate what they're trying to do with these fall flavors here, but I think a lot of the fall-ish booths, the fall dishes that we tried, are missing the mark quite a bit. Here at the Swirled Showcase, they obviously have ice cream, but they also have this liquid nitrogen frozen sweet potato mousse with candied pecans and a maple caramel sauce. And this is kind of like dessert and a show. You get to watch them actually scoop out the mousse, put it in the liquid nitrogen, and then once it's finished, they kind of scoop it on back out and they crack it with a mallet and then put all the toppings on top. So like I said, dessert and a show. All right, let's try this sweet potato.
Try it.
It is just like ice cream.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It is. Cheers. Wow. Mmm. That's good.
That is so good. Oh my God.
It tastes like a cheesecake, right?
That is exactly what I was thinking. I guess when they kind of like freeze it, it turns into almost like a cheesecake.
Ooh,
consistency
so
and flavor. The pecans on there is awesome. A little crunch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
A little crunch, the sweetness, so good.
This is fantastic. Come get this.
Yes.
This is turning things around. This is giving us the fall. This is the best fall dish we've had so far.
This is what fall should taste like.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
I need another one.
That's so good.
That is so good.
Guys, I am so shook. I did not expect that sweet potato mousse to be nearly as good as it was. Definitely a contender for Best of the Fest. for sure a contender for best of the fest for desserts. Well, we made it into the World Showcase and then we quickly hung a left to hit up the Brew Wing Lab at the Odyssey. Now, a lot of you guys probably remember the Brew Wing Lab because they have the pickle milkshake, and they do have it again this year. I tried it last year, so I will not be putting myself through that again. But they have a couple of other pickle items that we will for sure be getting. Now, I mentioned they still have the pickle milkshake here at the Brew Wing Lab, but they also brought in a bunch of other pickly kind of things. They now have the pickle fries, or the fried pickles. They used to have them at the fry basket last year, and they called them pickle fries, but they kind of moved them in here, and they are so good. They were one of my favorite things that I tried at last year's festival, so I'm hoping they're just as good this year. I believe usually they give you 4 fried pickles, but today we got 5. It's our lucky day, and these seem so crisp and delicious. I love fried pickles, and these are such good fried pickles. Every time I come to Epcot during the Food and Wine Festival, I end up getting the fried pickles because I absolutely love them. They remind me a lot of the fried pickles from Carnation Cafe in Disneyland that I love, and I love that we kind of get them for a few months. I get that Carnation Cafe Disneyland vibe here in Epcot. If you are a fried pickle fan, I do think these are some of, honestly, some of the best. And I don't know if they are hand breading them back there or what, but they surely taste like it. That breading is so well seasoned, so crispy, and then you've got the nice spears in there. And I am a fried pickle spear girl. I prefer the spear to the chip, and these are delish. Okay, not only do they have a pickle milkshake and pickle fries, they also have a pickle hard seltzer. I didn't even know they had it, and then Allie let me know. I was like, oh, we gotta try that out. So cheers.
Cheers.
Pickle seltzer.
I don't like it.
I need another sip.
It's like a cider.
Oh, it's a little
And
it does give you that little soury kind of kick. It made me tingle a little bit.
listen, I love pickle shots and picklebacks and everything because I love pickle juice. This does not work.
Yeah.
It tastes like it's trying to be a cider with pickle flavoring.
I feel like if it was ice cold, it could work.
On the 4th of July with a hot dog.
Maybe. But I feel like since it's Florida and this is going to get warm a little bit faster, and also I just took video of it, so that doesn't help the time that we've had it. But still, I feel like this has to be ice cold for it to be good. And 2 minutes after you get it, it gets a little bit too warm to enjoy. So it's fun to try. I think it's better than the pickle milkshake. Well, now that we have eaten all of the pickles, it is officially time to head into the World Showcase and start hitting up some of the countries, of course, starting here in Mexico. Now, here in Mexico, we did get another clean sweep of the food. I feel like we've been doing that a lot recently with a lot of the booths because a lot of the stuff just sounds so good, and everything here in Mexico sounded delicious. So we got one of everything. And also, I just want to say, I feel like this year, more than ever before, there are less tables. I always say there's not enough tables, but there is actually just not a single table here in Mexico for us to eat at. So I don't know where they really want us to eat our food. We of course found a trash can, but it would be nice to have, even if you're just gonna have 2 tables, you gotta give us a little something, but there is nothing here in Mexico, and I've been noticing that around a bunch of the other booths as well, so bring us more tables, Disney. We have gotta start by trying this Mango Sunrise Margarita. It has Dos Hombres, mezcal, tequila, mango puree, and black currant liqueur with a chili lime salt rim. I don't know about you guys, but this looks more like a Bloody Mary than a margarita to me. Let's see how it tastes. I definitely get the smokiness from the mezcal, but other than that, it doesn't have much flavor. I'm not getting much mango in there.
I think it all went to the bottom.
Yeah.
Maybe I gotta give it a stir. All right, this needs a little stir here. We're going in with the fork. Okay, yes. That definitely helped a lot. Give it a mix. I still would say this probably isn't as good as any of the margaritas that you would get inside La Cava. I still would prefer to just get a cucumber margarita inside or something. But I do believe this is a little bit cheaper than the margaritas inside. So there's that. Allie, wanna try it?
Cheers.
Cheers, Mom.
What is it, tahini rim?
Yes.
Ooh. I don't like the smokiness with the sweetness of the mango. with the mezcal. It's a very, very good.
Very strong as well.
But I would go for a skinny margarita in La Cava.
Me too. That's the
Go-to.
move. But now onto the food. Let's try the tostada de camarones first. This is tempura battered shrimp atop a fried corn tortilla with guacamole, cabbage, chipotle aioli, diced mango, and chili lime powder. Okay, we're gonna take a bite now. Okay, this tostada shell is fried fresh. It is really, really good. Then you've got La Cava's guacamole on top. La Cava de Tequila has some of the best guacamole ever. The shrimp get a little bit lost in all the other toppings. Like, I wish they were maybe if they had like ceviche, like shrimp ceviche on top of this, I think that would be a little bit better opposed to the fried shrimp. It's tasty. It's definitely good. But I would probably get it again, but it wouldn't be something that I would like run to get or would be like a must get for me. Now for the flauta de barbacoa. This is a fried tortilla filled with barbacoa beef topped with salsa verde, crema mexicana, and queso fresco. Upon picking this up, it's actually a lot crisper than I thought it would be, but it doesn't look like there's much meat in here. My friends thought I was gonna hate this, but I actually think it is pretty tasty. I could use more salsa verde on there. The outer shell is nice and crispy. I could also use a bit more meat in there, especially for what, $8? $8. $8 for this is crazy. I think my friend Shannon ate this in 3 bites. And I bit it from the side, so I ate this in an unconventional way. I did that so I could get more meat in my bite because I knew if I bit it from like straight on, I was gonna get no meat in it. So I had to eat it from the side here. It's tasty, but not $8 good. It is dessert time. This is the pan de elote. It's a traditional Mexican cornbread topped with chocolate sauce and queso fresco. Friends are laughing at me for having my bag full of forks, napkins, straws, anything you may need, I've got right in here.
Do you have mayonnaise in there?
I do not have any mayo in here, obviously, but let's try this corn cake here. I do love me some cornbread. I don't know if I've ever had Mexican style cornbread with chocolate on top and queso fresco. Interesting. It's almost a little spicy, and I guess that's from the tahini that they put on top, which wasn't advertised. The cornbread itself is like very, very moist, not like your traditional dry American cornbread. The chocolate sauce is very, very rich. It tastes more like a handmade like Mexican chocolate that you would get to like dip in churros, and that part is really good. I'm not quite sure how it all goes together though. Like, I don't think cornbread really goes with chocolate that well, and I don't think this dish as a whole goes together that well. After Mexico, our next stop is China, and China is usually a country that I skip for the festivals here in Epcot. And that's because I find the prices to be way too extreme for the quality of food that you actually receive. And we ordered a bunch of it, and by looking at it for Food and Wine Festival, it looks like my theory remains true. And one of the things that specifically looks bad from this booth is this crispy duck bao bun with hoisin sauce. Now, Dom already took a bite of this, but before he did, he lifted this up and showed me there is a drop of hoisin and a single cucumber on there
under the hood
and a
there?
single piece of duck. Like, this don't look good. That's so fatty.
Yeah, that's all you taste is the fat.
And it's so dry. It needs a lot more hoisin sauce. How much was that? $8.25? Insane. For a single bao of that size with a piece of duck, like that big on it, would not recommend. Let's hope these Shanghai scallion noodles with shrimp is a bit better. You know, for them to call these scallion noodles, there should be a lot more scallion on here. I will say the noodles actually look nice and chewy and nice and coated in sauce though, but if these are scallion noodles, I need scallions on here, and a lot of them.
I know.
It has like no flavor. Like, it looks like it would have a good soy flavor, but it just doesn't have much at all.
How are the shrimp?
Oh, you mean one of my 2 shrimp that I got for $8.75?
Yeah.
Let me try it. Those are so bad.
Yeah? Mind if I,
Should we go for the chicken?
let's see here.
It's all you, Dom. All you.
I don't like my fork is gone. You gotta.
Oh,
She's got that thing on her.
Pulling it out of my bag.
What is the shrimp coated in? What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know if it's like panko crusted or.
I definitely have the shrimp.
It's soggy though.
Both of you made the same face.
It's bad. The shrimp is bad.
Okay, you know when you go to a Chinese restaurant and you get wonton soup and they bring out the little Crispies? Like, you know the little Crispies you put in the soup?
Yeah.
It's like they got a bunch of those, mashed them up together, let them sit out for an hour and just grease at the bottom and then sprinkle it on top of the shrimp. That's what it's like.
Not good, whatever it is. Well, the food from China was a no-go, but let's hope this mango peach bubble tea is okay. This has green tea, mango and peach syrup, and white boba. Nice, light, refreshing, not too sweet. It's fine, it's okay. They have boba all year round. Allie got a lychee boba from the other stand.
It's already gone because it was that good.
And it's so hot, so I needed this refreshing beverage. We are now in the African Outpost, and usually I wouldn't stop here for a festival either, but for Food and Wine Festival 2024, they actually have a dessert that looks like a giant zebra dome. Zebra domes are a dessert that they have at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, and they are so tasty. They're like these little they're the only dome cake I like, but they're like these little like cake circles with some like mousse on top. They're so good, and they have it in ginormous form here. Wait till you guys see this. Here we have the chocolate amarula mousse dome with white chocolate. All right, let's see. We've got a chocolate wafer on the bottom. That's different as well because usually it's vanilla cake on the bottom. I actually think I like this better than a zebra dome.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking the same. I was waiting to say it.
I want to get some more with that chocolate cake on the inside.
I only ever had gluten-free zebra domes, so I don't know. I think there's more layers of flavors in that.
Yeah.
And it takes you on a journey.
It takes you on a journey. Wow, that sounded so elegant. But I do think I really like that more than a zebra dome. Zebra domes are great, don't get me wrong. But that added chocolate in there, it's just adding a richness that pairs really well with like the zebra dome mousse. Next country on the list is Spain, and we got the squid ink paella here. This has scallops and some shrimp in there. And then we've also got the Spanish charcuterie. It has pan con tomate. This is different than they usually have. Usually they just have like meat and cheese and a vinaigrette. It's really good. Yeah, it used to be in a cone. It looks like that cheese has been sitting out for a very, very long time. It's starting to have some condensation on it, but we got both of the dishes here. Since we all know what cheese and meat tastes like, I'm just gonna try some of this pan con tomate. Now they have a pan con tomate over at Toledo at Coronado, and that is so good. It's one of my favorite apps. So hopefully this tastes just as good. The flavor of the bread is good. The flavor of the tomato is good. There's not quite enough on there. It needs a little bit more. Like, I took one bite of this half, and the other half of the half doesn't have any tomato left on it, so it could definitely use a bit more. But at $6.50 for two solid sized slices of cheese, some meat, and two little pieces of bread, this is a good snack to get while kind of walking around the World Showcase. Now I did really want to get the paella because I remember in Spain, their paella has always been really good here at the Food and Wine booth, but I realized it had some garlic aioli on that. So Allie is gonna give you guys the review. This is also a gluten-free dish.
And I was like, wow, this flavor is so good. Where is it coming from? And then Kristen told me that it's a garlic aioli. And that, I think, makes the dish so much better. If you mix the aioli in with all of the rice, there's some octopus, scallops, shrimp. It's actually really, really fantastic. For a gluten-free dish, this, for the price point, is so much better than the noodle dish.
Oh my gosh,
or
yes.
the bao bun that you guys got.
Yeah, explain that. You got what? 2 shrimp, a bunch of tiny
Octopus
baby
and scallops.
For the actually cheap, 25 cents cheaper than those noodles.
So this is a much better deal. So good.
Oh guys, it is time. It is time for the Italy booth. Oh my gosh, Italian style nachos. Ooh, some meatballs and some cheesecake. Only the finest of Italian cuisines here from the Italy booth. Let's just be really clear. We don't get the food in the Italy pavilion to see how good it is. We actually get the food in the Italy pavilion from the festival booth to see actually just how awful it could be. Well, let's just start with these Italian style nachos. These have a homemade beef ragu pasta chips, tomato sauce, and dried ricotta cheese. Guys, this is so oily. I was like taking a video where I kind of tilted the boat of ragu down, and there was just a puddle of grease on the bottom. But we'll grab one of our pasta chips here, our oily, covered in oil pasta chips, and we'll try a bite of this oil-infested dish. Why are those pasta chips like so chewy? Like they were hard to chew. I had to bite down at it 100 times, and all I taste is freaking oil. That is all you can taste. I can't even taste the beef. This is awful. Like, I genuinely cannot even believe they are serving this as a dish at their festival. How the cast members that work at the Italy Pavilion sell this and don't laugh in our faces for buying this. Like, what the actual hell is this? Every time I am amazed by just how bad the dishes in the Italy Pavilion can be, and I'm just time and time again, I'm just amazed. I can't even get any more beef up. This is stupid. And just when you think it can't get worse, we have these beef meatballs with rosemary focaccia and pomodoro sauce. This is the saddest looking plate of food I may have ever seen at an Epcot festival. These are definitely straight from the bag, straight from the freezer, but we'll go for a dunk in the pomodoro sauce. I'm sure these are authentic. That's worse than the nachos.
Oh my God.
That is worse than the nachos.
I don't think so.
What the actual heck?
It's just a frozen meatball. Like, the expectations were super low.
I just cannot believe, like, Italy has some of the best food in the world. How are they serving up shit festival after festival? Like, for real. I just don't get it.
Italian workers. Like,
this is a damn shame, to be honest. Like, that, I think that's worse than the nachos. For real.
I don't know. Try some of the authentic bread.
The authentic focaccia, I'm all good on that. I will save my appetite for our next stop, which is America. I'm ready for a glizzy after this.
Time to get down to business.
I'm ready for a glizzy after this. Now, I did mention glizzies, and here in America, they're doing something a little bit new. They have all these different hot dogs. So we've got a New York style, a Chicago style, a Carolina style, and a Southwest style hot dog. Well, you guys know I love a good glizzy, so we had to get 3 of the 4. We're gonna start by trying this Southwest style all beef hot dog wrapped in bacon with warm pinto beans, tomatoes, jalapenos, avocado crema, and queso fresco in a French roll. I gotta take a big bite because the bacon doesn't start until kind of a bite into the glizz. The French roll itself is a little bit on the stale side, but the pinto beans on it, I've never had or thought to have pinto beans on a hot dog. Is this how it goes in the Southwest? If so, I dig it. The bacon wrapped glizz is of course delicious, and this isn't the typical type of hot dog that Disney uses for their glizzies. This is really, really good. The pinto beans make it almost taste like a chili, kind of. Like chili beans. I don't know, I like it. Now for the New York style all beef hot dog with sauerkraut, onion tomato sauce, and spicy mustard on a brioche bun. I will say this is not spicy mustard, and this bun is very, very, very soft. It's very soft buns. Let's try this out. New York style is how I prefer my glizzies. All I need on a hot dog is some sauerkraut and some mustard. But this takes it to the next level with that bun. That bun is so delicious. And because of that bun, I'd say the New York style is even better than the Southwest. Our final glizz of the evening, the Chicago style. I like that they're kind of changing the bun up. Every single bun is different. Of course, we've got the poppy seed with the Chicago style, a nice sprinkle of celery salt, the tomato, the super green relish, onion, mustard, pickles, sport peppers. It's all here. Let's try it out. It's good. I mean, what really sets us apart from like most other hot dogs is that bun. Do we think they're baking these buns fresh? Dom, you tried all the hot dogs. I think these buns are like, I mean, the French one from the
sucked.
Southwest, it was stale.
Yeah.
But the poppy seed bun here and the New York style bun were fantastic.
100%.
Like,
The poppy seed one was really good.
So was the New York one. It was so pillowy soft. I don't know. These buns are... They got some good buns here in America. Overall, with these hot dogs, I really like the idea of, like, I really like that they did this at the America booth. Usually you have the same thing every year for Food and Wine. I mean, I know we used to have the lobster roll here every year. I think the last 2 years they kind of did away with that. We always had the carrot cake here. That is no longer. It's at one of the other booths this year instead. And then we had like a French dip sandwich or like a Chicago beef sandwich. But these hot dogs, I mean, this is a hit. This is the way to go. I think Dom enjoyed pretty much all of them as well. I like it. And Dom suggested a hot dog flight. I don't know why they didn't do that. Disney hired Dom. He's right here. It's a good idea. Phoebe just stormed up on us. Yeah, I got the chocolate pudding cake.
It's so good.
I know.
Do you like the bourbon or the vanilla sauce better?
I haven't tried it yet.
Cookie with ice cream.
I guess we should try it.
This one better.
You like this one better than...
I think so. I wish the caramel sauce was a little stickier. But
Okay.
it's really good.
Well, that's high praise. I gotta try it now. I believe like the last 2 years, the warm chocolate pudding cake from the Ireland booth has been my favorite thing at the Food and Wine Festival. Obviously, there's no Ireland booth. I know we went over that a little bit earlier because we got the Guinness shake, but they found a new place for the chocolate pudding cake, which I am very excited about. I would have been devastated to go a Food and Wine Festival without it. This year it's a little different, and they have a caramel sauce on it instead of the vanilla sauce, but we'll try it out with the caramel. It is so rich and chocolatey, but that's like exactly what I was expecting and exactly what I wanted with this dessert here. I do enjoy the caramel on it. I don't know, I'm not sure if I like it more than the vanilla sauce, but I'm also not sure if I'm like missing the vanilla sauce either. It's good with both. I like it either way. This chocolate pudding cake is a win year after year after year. If you're in the mood for a rich chocolatey dessert, come get this, but I advise also getting some water because you will definitely need it after eating this cake. Well, folks, Japan is our next stop here for the Food and Wine Festival, and I wanted to get the Wagyu Tamaki sushi. This is a handheld sushi with sweet and savory American Wagyu beef topped with Takana Japanese pickles and spicy mayo sauce. I must admit, guys, this doesn't look too hot. The beef on top ain't looking too good, if I'm being honest here. Give it a little roll, and we'll see how this is. Just kind of tastes like ground beef and some rice with some seaweed. Like, a little bit of it more so tastes like a brown gravy than like that almost, I expected like some type of like hoisin-y eel saucy glaze. And I'm not really getting that. I'm getting like brown gravy with ground beef with rice and seaweed. And at nearly $10, this would be a skip for me. For years, I would skip the Morocco booth, and every time I would regret it because they always had some type of dessert that looked so good. So I decided this was not the year I was skipping Morocco. I had to stop in for the pistachio cake with cinnamon pastry cream and candied walnuts. This is really, really tasty. What I love about this dessert is that, of course, it's not too sweet, which is what I really look for in desserts. You get a little bit of that pistachio flavor. The cinnamon buttercream is delicious. I do wish there was a little bit more of that cinnamon frosting. It needs a bit more. The crunchy walnuts.
Where are they?
This is solid as usual.
Sounds very good.
Well, after a lap around the World Showcase, we had to come back by Figment and Living with the Land because they have a booth called Earth Eats that I wanted to get earlier and we came by, but they were out of some of the stuff we wanted to get. So we came back and hopefully they have it this time around. Well, we are some very happy campers here. They have the short rib back in stock. We also got the lemon poppy seed cake here, and we're finishing it on a mega trash can, the only way we know how. Dessert first here to end the night. We are starting with the lemon poppy seed cake with a lemon icing, and you guys know I love lemon, so this should be really good. This cake cuts very nicely.
Oh.
Yeah,
Is it?
this is good. Like I said, I absolutely love lemon desserts, and this is no different. Again, not too sweet. It's not too lemony. I could actually use just a bit more lemon. That glaze on top is fantastic. The cake is light, the cake is airy. Honestly, the desserts at this festival this year are really good. I've had a lot of good desserts. All right, final dish of the festival. Let's do this. The red wine braised beef short rib with goat cheese polenta, puttanesca sauce, shaved pecorino, and petite herbs. Allie has already dug into this, and I know she said it was really good, and she said it was very tender. And as you can see, that is definitely the case. This just fell right apart. I want to get some of that goat cheese polenta in here with the short rib, and we'll try this out. Moment of truth. Will we end on a high note? Yep, that's good. I took a bite of the goat cheese polenta alone, and I will say, I'm not getting really any goat cheese whatsoever. The polenta is also a little bit dry. I know that's kind of how it's supposed to be, but that's not the standout of the dish. The standout of the dish is that short rib, and that is really tender and flavorful. You could taste that red wine. It's a delicious dish. And when you kind of get the short rib mixed in the same bite with the polenta, that adds a little bit of like the flavor and the juiciness that it needs, I guess you could say. I definitely get that again. That was definitely one of the better like savory dishes I had all day. Well guys, with that, we are done with all of the food today. And believe it or not, we tried 36 different food items from this year's Food and Wine Festival. I think that is the most food items I have ever eaten at an Epcot festival on opening day. And thankfully I had so many friends to share all of that amazing food with. But before I head out for the evening, I wanted to kind of like recap with you guys and let you guys know like my top 5 dishes of the festival and some things that I'd skip. Starting with the top 5 dishes at the festival, and in no particular order, I'm going to go over all 5, starting with the Steakhouse Blended Burger. 5 years ago in 2019, this burger left us, and I am so ecstatic that it is back. It is just the perfect blend of beef and mushroom, that brie cheese sauce. Oh my God, it is just to die for. The perfect combination of flavors. I definitely recommend it, and I hope it comes back next year. I've also got to throw the fried pickles on the top 5 list. I believe they were my favorite food item that I tried at last year's festival, and I am very happy that they are back. They are just really well done, freshly made, fresh tasting fried pickles, extra crispy, extra delicious. For number 3, we're going with another classic returning item to the Food and Wine Festival, the warm chocolate pudding cake. Year after year, this dish does not disappoint. It is so chocolatey and so rich, and it really just is a cannot miss dessert. And the last 2 things on our top 5 list are 2 brand new menu additions to this year's festival, including another can't miss dessert, the liquid nitrogen frozen sweet potato mousse. I had it on my list, and then I was like, oh, we could kind of skip it, but we didn't, and I am so happy that we didn't. Allie and I practically licked the plate clean. It was the perfect combination of textures. It was so delicious. It was perfect for the fall, and trust me guys, you're gonna want to try this out. And finally, I'm throwing the New York hot dog on there. Those hot dogs were really, really good. And I know hot dogs are just like a basic food, but I feel like the hot dogs from the America booth were so well done, mainly because of the buns, and the bun on the New York hot dog was out of this world. I want to throw on a couple of honorable mentions as well, both from the final booth of the evening, Earth Eats, the lemon poppy seed cake and the red wine braised short rib. I would highly recommend you try both of those as well. And finally, onto our worst of the fest. These are things that I would absolutely not recommend you try. All of the Italy booth. I mean, need I say more? Both dishes were absolutely awful that I had, as were the dishes in China. Unfortunately, both of them were really not good. Those scallion noodles had next to no flavor, and those shrimp were repulsive. And then, of course, that duck bao bun, fatty and skippable. Finally, I've got to include those Brussels sprouts. They were way too vinegary. They were mushy. Not good. Also not a fan of the autumn chili. It was just way too greasy. So Italy, China, Brussels sprouts, and that autumn chili, 0 out of 10, would not recommend. Well, another successful Epcot festival in the books. The Ultimate Foodie Guide to Epcot's Food and Wine Festival 2024 is complete. I want to give a huge shout out to all of my Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys for supporting the channel as always, and thank all of you guys for watching this video. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like more honest Disney food reviews just like this one, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye.